it's a waste of time for me to worry so much about my team, especially when I trust them. We hear the new year mentality, new year, new me. We hear that a lot. But what small, realistic goal can you set for yourself within the next 30 days?
What would it take for you to hit pause in your entrepreneurial journey?
I'm thankful for everything entrepreneurship has taught me. It allowed me to go into the corporate space and be able to shine in that corporate space. So this is my first corporate job. I feel like I got the best job in the world, man. Let's be honest. We're in a good space, man, and I'm excited for that level of diversity to continue to grow within the organization.
Most people think of Planet Fitness. They definitely don't think corporate. They think
perfect. Nah, man, they don't. I didn't either until I got into it, man. So I'm excited to talk about it.
Welcome back to the Working Well Black Show, your go-to resource for career growth and entrepreneurship. I'm your host, Walter Gaynor II, and today our guest is Harold Logan. He's a corporate GM at Planet Fitness, and he joined me to talk about how to set healthy fitness goals, why some leaders fail to lead a team, and how entrepreneurship landed him his first ever corporate job. So if you're ready to make a change in your career or make improvements to your wellness journey, then pay close attention because we're starting right now. Like you said, life didn't go as you thought it was going to go. And I remember when we first met, I don't know how long it had been, but you had left a business that you had started selling chocolate and selling sweets, something that I love. And then you just went on this whole 360, 180, I don't know the degrees, but you just a big flip from sweets and treats to full on fitness. And not only that being a pivot in your life direction, but also just the physical shape. So we start at just right then and there, that moment where you're like, no, I got to make that switch from selling chocolates, kind of just let go of that whole business.
Oh man, absolutely. It was hands down one of the hardest decisions I've ever had to make. Well, just to be honest, it was a choice in life to where I had to choose myself because I was choosing money. I was choosing that lifestyle, that quick lifestyle, that addictive lifestyle that you know too well. I mean, being in it. And I looked up one day, my funny story, man, my wife called me and she said that Levi was crawling for the first time. I was in Atlanta doing a chocolate convention, and when all I could think about, bro, was getting home, like just watching him. Like I missed so much of the pregnancy. I missed so much of that childhood, and especially the beginning of it. I was traveling so much. But when I got home, I couldn't even keep up with him crawling. Like I got on the floor with him to play with him. And he literally, bro, crawled circles around me. And it made me feel less of a man, less of a husband, less of a father, to not even be able to keep up with my infant son crawling. And in that space, I had to choose myself. I was given an opportunity. In life, man, we are blessed to have opportunities so much throughout our day. And that moment, I was given a choice to make, to go left or right. If I wanted to keep going down this road of chasing a way of fame, a way of success that I thought chocolate was going to give me, or I could choose myself and bet on me and knowing that I will ultimately become successful in whatever I choose to do. And I didn't know it was going to be fitness, bro. Just to be honest with you, I thought it was going to be me walking away from my business I started. I thought I was going to be a failure. I was about to go down this wormhole of not knowing what the outcome was. But I knew if I choose myself and I chose my family, I knew I wouldn't be able to fall. And fitness came out of it because I wanted to be healthier for my son. I wanted to be that father that could be with my son in a healthy space. And Be Great Guys was birthed out of that. Fitness, the lifestyle of fitness was birthed out of that. And it allowed me to reclaim the power that I always had. You know what I mean? I was no longer a victim to business. I was a warrior to my life.
You know, that's interesting, that no longer a victim to business. Now, I'm curious what you mean by that, but my first thought was when we kind of fantasize, use that word
Yeah.
intentionally, when we fantasize about entrepreneurship, if you're working full time, one of the common thoughts or ideas is this idea of freedom.
Yeah.
But I think something it's an easy trap to fall into is just becoming like technically you're free. No one's telling you what to do except, oh, your life is sucked into this business. Maybe
Yeah.
you do actually answer to your customers, your clients, because you're
Absolutely.
depending on them for that revenue. But what was that? What was that like for you, being a victim of your business?
Because I didn't understand how to compartmentalize that time or that freedom per se. I was always running to the next sale. I was running to the next wholesale client. I was running to the next big box client. I was running and chasing that next contract. And I didn't understand how to balance my life when it came to that work-life balance and that freedom that entrepreneurship gives you if you do it right. Because in anything, man, like even with a job, even working in corporate, we'll talk about it in a little bit. If you have balance, you will be able to have freedom in anything that you do. You just have to understand that time will give us the reward of understanding that we can put ourselves in a place of work and then put ourselves in a place of rest. And then being able to understand the two, to not be able to blur those lines. And that was the biggest part for me, because I never had a definite line within the entrepreneurship life, especially the chocolate life. I always lived in that gray area. Whenever I was home, I always had my phone on me. Whenever I was with my kid, with Levi, I always was doing an email, sending an email out. I never was in a place of work and rest.
Man, this is another type of trap. Yeah. Well,
It is, bro.
congratulations on
It really is.
escaping that. Yeah,
It
and
is.
you said you're now a warrior for your family.
Yes, sir. Warrior for my
Man.
family, warrior for myself, man. It really allowed me to, that life, it taught me how to understand how precious time is. Because we can have it all, Walt, man. We can have the business, we can have the success, we can have the things that we dream about. We just have to understand how to know that time will give us that space to rest as well. We can still work, we can still grind, we can still do all the things that we want to do in this life, but you still have to have time to appreciate it and have time to rest to be able to continue to keep going.
You know, something that I feel like there's kind of two things that I've been on this mission of, right? One is to not allow fear to have such a huge influence on me. Not saying to be fearless, because I think there's
Absolutely.
fear is just another way of your body communicating with you, but really just not have it just halt me in my track, deer in the headlights.
Yeah.
And the other thing is time, and this idea of like when you catch up with somebody, like, oh, how's it going, what's going on, like, oh man, busy, busy,
Yeah.
busy. I say it all the time. I'm trying to change that so that not be the first thing I say. But also just lately I'm just feeling like I'm like in a pinball machine, just going back and forth, because I feel like I'm just not in control. Like I'm just kind of bouncing to this and this and this, and time being an issue. So when you're saying we could have it all and still have time to rest, that just seems like a foreign concept from a distant land that I want to be at. But I don't really understand how that could be. I know for a lot of people, whether they're an entrepreneur or working full time, it's like, I don't got the time. So what does that really look like, right? For someone who's ambitious, for someone who knows that they have idea of where they want to be, and they know that working hard is part of that. How do you fit time to just be still, be present, and to rest?
Man, it took years for that to happen in our life and in the life of the Logans, man. But what the biggest thing that I can contribute to that is I understood that I was in control of my time. And the only way I allowed other people, a job, a client, a contract, to be in control of my time because I gave my time away. I didn't value myself enough to know that I was still in control. So when I realized that, I woke up, I gave thanks to the day. I gave thanks to the opportunity to have a new day. And then I just went to work. I just went to work. That's all I did. And I didn't understand that, man, I'm giving away so much of my life to people, to situations, to clients, which are all important. But if I leave or if I stop, everything will still keep going. So why don't I take a moment to understand my true power within the path that is in front of me? And when I did that, when I took a moment, took a pause, I understood that I was in control of my life. I was in control of my path. I was in control of my success, and I was in control of my lack of success, of my ability to just sit back and rest too long, because we can do that too. That's a whole nother conversation, because we can definitely rest too long when we know we have work to do. But when we understand, and when I understood that I was in control, that's when that warrior mentality started to spark in my life. And things became easier. Like I was able to do things easier. Things came to me easier. And because I wasn't rushing anymore, I got out of that rat race, and I was no longer rushing. I don't know if you ever seen this movie, man. Have you seen this movie called Office Space?
Oh yeah, Mr.
So
Stapler.
you remember when old buddy said he was going fishing, and he's like, I don't care he said, man, yo, you can quit or you can get fired. And he said, okay, I'm just going fishing. And he just sat in his cubicle and just didn't have a care in the world, man, because he understood that moment that he was in control of his time. And that was those little glimpses of memories come back to me, man, because I now understand that, yeah, man, we can give so much to this world. We can give so much to our business, so much to a corporate job, but life is still going to keep going with or without us. So why not take a moment to understand your true power, your true worth, and just sit back, look at it from a different vantage point, and work when it's time to work, man. Rest when it's time to rest, and understand that when you're resting, appreciate that time that you have, so you can be more driven when it's time to get back to it.
Now, I know you said it took years for you and your whole family, right, to get to that point where that's the lifestyle, right? I'm curious. I think as an entrepreneur, it can be, and in some situations, it can be easier to put those boundaries up. But I already know, there's people who work and when they get a call from their boss, they feel as though they have to answer, even if it's like off hours. Is there anything that you did as you were kind of working on getting to the place you're at now that helped you to hold yourself accountable for respecting, or what was the word you used? Appreciating that time and respecting that time of rest?
I let my team know that I was going to take it. And during that time, I asked for no calls. I asked for no emails. I told them I wasn't going to send any emails out. And that was a growing pain. So I'm not going to sit here and say that it was easy, because it was not. It was not at all. But one thing that I learned from it was how I coached my team. And if we have a team around us, because some people in business are by themselves, but if you have a team around you, you coach them to the way of, you're going to respect your time and I'm going to respect your time. So when I put that request out, it wasn't as hard to receive, because they saw how the transition was. It just didn't happen to where I said, okay, now I'm a rest, so now I don't want to talk to anybody. No, it was months of cultivating my team to let them know that, hey, we're going to have a transition in the way we think when it comes to how we go about business. And with that transition, it took meetings, it took trial and error, it took me saying I'm going dark for a weekend, but I'm still answering emails because I saw a big client that I needed to try to hit. And then my wife told me, hey, you can't train the team if you're not going to do what you're training your team to do. So that was a huge lesson for me. It really humbled me. It really allowed me to sit back and analyze, for one, the respect and trust I had in my team to know that they can do it if I'm going dark. Because if on their end, if I'm answering emails when I'm telling them I'm going dark, that makes them feel like I have a lack of trust in their ability to do the work while I'm not there. And that was a huge lesson I had to learn, and this give the empowerment to my team. And when I did that, once we got through that little trial and error period, man, life became easier for all of us, because we now have times in our lives and in our workspace to where I know that there's some times where I'm just not going to be available on the weekend. But when I get back on Monday or when I get back on Tuesday, I'm back at it. And then my wife is going dark, or Miss Susan is going dark. You know what I'm saying? And it's all about keeping that ball rolling within our job or entrepreneurship.
Okay, so this is so many things I love about that, right? So many things. I'm just like, oh man. I'm gonna let you know right now. I have an idea for everything we're going to talk about in this episode. We're still going to touch on them, but we're throwing things out the window because I think you touched on something that I think is all right. So the first thing, right?
Yeah.
I just the examples you just gave, was it you working at or being an entrepreneur and in your own business, or is that in the workplace?
It was a little bit of both, man. I mean, so as you know, man, they kind of correlate. I mean, especially when you're in leadership, they correlate a lot. That's why I really I'm thankful for everything entrepreneurship has taught me thus far, because it allowed me to go into the corporate space and be able to shine in that corporate space. So this is my first corporate job, man. When we talk about Planet Fitness, and I didn't know what I was getting into, just to be honest, but I knew when I saw the KPIs and when I saw the roles that they wanted me to fit, I'm like, oh man, I did this in Florida when I tried to get the wholesale account for the grocery store. Or I did this when I was cold calling hundreds of toy shops trying to get chocolate in their toy shops. You know about that because we talked about that during that lifestyle. So it's a correlation between the two, man, that I am so thankful for, that I'm able to have that skill set.
Mm-hmm. Man. Okay. Yeah. So that you, without me directly asking, you answered it, right? I think that when it comes to management, whether you're in business for yourself or working in someone else's company, it's not everyone is just already has those skills built in. It takes some practice, and I don't think people realize it. It's like, yes, I want to become a manager, I want to be a leader, I want to hire people, have employees. It's like a part of scaling growth in a lot of roles and paths, but it takes work, and there's a lot of other challenges there, right? And I think especially people look at those two worlds as completely separate types. But when you were speaking just now, I was like, man, I was hearing you talk about training your team. I'm like, yo, this, I don't know if you're talking about at work or in your business. And it just seems like one of the biggest critiques, especially with black-owned businesses, small businesses, is when it comes down to the management of the systems in place. So I'm curious. I mean, this may have just been over time with entrepreneurship, but how did you develop that kind of systems and organizational thinking? And we'll just start with that one. Then I want to tie back into Planet Fitness.
Yeah, trial and error, giving myself grace to understand that I don't know everything, and to be patient when I'm learning something new. and to humble myself enough to learn from somebody that's on my team, to say, hey, you are a rock star in systems and organizations, or SOPs. Let's have a moment to where we can have a brainstorming session so I can get up to speed, or I can get to your level. And no, when you're in leadership, man, the last thing your team, well, in my case, the last thing I would want my leader to do is to act like they know everything, and then act like they know everything, and then delegate when they don't know it. So when I humble myself enough to know to tell my team that I don't know everything, man. So let's get in a think tank session, and let's all get up to speed. Let me give you my resources that I know that you may not, and let's continue to barter and ultimately build the strength of a team and not just individual productivity. A lot of trial and error, though, bro. I mean, it was a lot of me learning myself and learning my management style, because as a leader, we all have styles of leadership. We all have a different style of thinking and a different style of how we delegate tasks to our team. So I had to understand that within my style of leadership, which is more of a hand to back approach opposed to that finger to chest mentality, it's allowing us to guide through any project, anything that we have in front of us, to where we can ultimately get to it together. And it's not a sense of me and then my team. It's us.
What do because I think that like a critique often of people who have like a step back approach is like, what do you do when someone kind of takes advantage of it? That's a fear of a lot of people have. Like, oh, if I'm not on them all the time, they're not going to be working. If I'm not checking in, they're just da 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 da. What is like is that a concern for you?
It's not, man, because I don't micromanage. I've never succeeded when somebody micromanaged me. I'd rather go through the process of learning, and then I've learned how to do the same thing for my team. So they know that I trust them enough. And this piggybacks off of what we talked about earlier when I was on that email. They didn't feel like I trusted them in that project. But I trust my team enough because I know how to coach, and I coach my team enough to know that when we go through something and I tell you something, or we learn something together, I'm going to take a step back and let you soar, let you excel. And if you need me as a resource, I'm always here, but I'm going to let you shine. And because I trust you enough to do so, I'm not going to be over your shoulder. I'm not going to worry about what you're doing. I don't need checkups every other day. Let's just get this project going. And that's having that mentality is having that mentality of getting your time back, because it's a waste of time for me to worry so much about my team, especially when I trust them. So having that link, that just sit back in my chair approach, and this understanding that, oh man, my team got it, man. It allowed me to block out all of the stress and worry that would come with projects when I had multiple team members doing something and everything's rolling, but then I'm worried about what they're doing, or did they get this PowerPoint done in time? Nah, man, I trust my team, man. So just like I trust myself. So we go through an extensive training process, and it's a little bit more than they're used to. But once they get out of that, they understand and respect it more, because they don't have to rely on me as much, because they're now empowered, because they have everything laid out for them.
Man, that trust part, it made me think, like, for people who are kind of just feel like they have to be on top of people, because that's another leadership style. But to me, it kind of looks like you probably just don't trust your team. And if you don't, that's a whole other issue right there.
It is. And I was like that. So, I mean, like I said, when I told you trial and error, I was like that in the beginning, because I was trying to figure out what type of manager I was. And when I thought people needed more of me to be successful, but if I give them the tools up front, they don't need me as much because they already have the tools in their toolbox to excel. So I can sit back and be able to look at it from this type of view to make sure the project is moving in the way it's supposed to, or our team is moving in the way it's supposed to. And I'm always there as a resource to continue to excel in projects and special things and travel. I mean, and pretty much anything.
Man, I love that. We could have this whole dedicated to leadership, but we're gonna have to have a whole separate episode just on that.
Yeah, man.
So we're gonna take a quick break, and when we get back, we're gonna hear a little bit more about what that corporate life is at Planet Fitness. Because when most people think of Planet Fitness, they definitely don't think corporate. They think perfect.
Nah, man, they don't. I didn't either until I got into it, man. So I'm excited to talk about it.
Let me introduce you to what might become your new best friend. All right, it's an app called Notion. I started using it because I felt like I was juggling way too much, right? From personal projects, work, podcasting, budgeting. It was just like way too much. But Notion has become a game changer for me. All right, it's an all-in-one workplace that allows me to plan, write, organize, and collaborate with ease. Essentially, I like to say it takes the chaos in my mind and puts it in one place where I can streamline my whole entire workflow. So if you want to check it out, check the comments, the description. There's a link where you could go ahead and set up your free trial and check it out today. All right, now back to the show. All right, we're back, y'all. Now, when you think of Planet Fitness, at least when I do, you don't think corporate at all. You think the purple machines. You think Pizza Wednesdays. Like, don't yell in here, or they're going to kick you out. Don't throw the weights around. But corporate, something that you don't always think about when you think about Planet Fitness or any gym at all. So I'm just curious, like, what is it like being in this position at Planet Fitness where you're leading a team in this store? You have certain like KPIs, different indicators you have to hit and everything. But also it just seems like a lot. It actually seems like it could be just very challenging. It's like a different type of retail environment where it's not people just like coming to grab some food or coming in to make a quick purchase. Like, people are spending a lot of time there. You get to just it's different types of risk and different types of reward. So what is the corporate life at Planet Fitness?
Man, just to be honest, I don't know the difference between it not being corporate or in a franchise and in corporate life. I just know that when I came to Planet Fitness, it was, for one of the best decisions I've ever made, because I was able to, during that time, buy my time back. And it was a lot of speculation and like thoughts that I used to think about Planet Fitness that aren't the case anymore. Like that, like you were saying about the Pizza Wednesdays. We don't do that anymore. And it's like they did back in the day, but it's just like so many things that Planet Fitness used to do back in the day that now they're not even turning over a new leaf, but they're just going in a direction of this positivity and this not even body image, but that no judgment mentality is so evident there, man. They really push a community within that gym, and all the gyms, especially the corporate ones, because there still are some franchise ones out there, but within the corporate gyms, that no judgment mentality, man, that coming as you are, being a community. And the people that I've been able to meet there have been phenomenal, man. So it's just like my team. I attest everything that we talked about before to my team, because my team is is a group of individuals that have listened to my style of coaching, and I knew it was a little unorthodox, but as they went through those lessons and coaching calls and all these meetings that we've had, they understood that our one mentality is one team. It's not just me and my team. It's I am your biggest cheerleader for success. I want you to grow within the organization. I want you to grow individually and in your own personal development. If it's within planet or if it's outside the planet. I want you to excel in your life. And it's not just about me hitting certain goals, about hitting bonuses or whatever that case may be. It's about us going together and succeeding together. And my team I'm fortunate to have a team that I have to be able to do that with it each and every day.
Man, it sounds like everyone's fortunate there. They got a strong leader who believes in them, that trusts
It's
them.
fun, man.
And you
It's
got
fun.
people that you trust as well. That's dope. Now,
Yeah,
prior to this, you were solely focused on being the fitness coach for your clients, so not necessarily working at a gym, right? You haven't worked at one and haven't had this position. So, well, what do you think helped you to land this leadership role?
Oh man, to be honest, talking to so many different people along the course of my life, being able to understand how to lead even when I wasn't a leader. I mean, when I had the chocolate company, even though our team was so small, you still were your own leader in your own right. You just didn't know it. You just didn't have a team under you. I mean, I was doing all the things that I needed to do or thought I needed to do to make Carolina Chocolate a success. But even in that mentality, I was leading because I was leading myself. I was leading and coaching and managing myself to be the best I could be in that space. And then throughout life, how I would train and coach clients and how we would go through pitfalls and celebratory moments together. I was leading in that space, not even just my clients, but leading myself. So when they wanted me to take on a team, it allowed me to understand that I have been doing this for years. Now I just have the beautiful opportunity to show it to individuals that are directly beneath me. And I took that challenge as a wonderful opportunity, man, to go out and shine. And when they saw that gleam in my eye, when they saw that want to go out and try to be the best I could within my team, I think as you can know, man, I like to talk, right? And I'm very, you know me, I'm very positive. I'm always going after something. They saw this energy in me, and it was so cool, man, because when they offered me the position, it was, I don't know, man, it just it gave me a little bit of like butterflies in my stomach a little bit because I never worked corporate before, because they told me, say, hey, man, it's a corporate job. You will have to do A, B, and C. I said, okay, well, I'm not used to that. I don't even know what that means. But I'm going to take it, and I'm going to learn their lifestyle, learn their culture. And as I'm learning their culture, I'm going to just shine as bright as I could with all the experience and the skill set that I had, so I can meet them wherever they need me to learn. And I bring so much, and I try, well, at least I tried. I tried to bring so much to the table. And then within the last couple of years, man, we've been able to do some cool things within my gym.
Man, that's wonderful. It's being an outsider landing the role as a corporate GM. That's big. We're gonna clap that up real quick, man.
Oh, man,
That's dope.
appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it. Definitely a beautiful opportunity.
Yeah, that's
My God, I like
amazing.
that, my man.
Yeah. So, all right. So with that, it's just so fascinating. That's really cool. That's really cool. I think a lot of people, what I'm hearing there is like, especially when you mention the butterflies in your stomach, right? I can imagine there may have been some like feelings of something similar to imposter syndrome, but that didn't stop you. Right?
Nah,
you
it
applied
didn't.
to something
It
that you
didn't.
hadn't done before, but you still went for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I asked on LinkedIn and also posted on the community tab on the YouTube channel. There's a question for all of my entrepreneurs, right? I asked like, what would it take for you to hit pause in your entrepreneurial journey, or just kind of switch from being full-time entrepreneur and consider returning to or pursuing a traditional job.
Hmm.
So I'm curious for you, this being something that is aligned with what you did
Yeah.
already, but was it something where it's like an opportunity for stability or just an opportunity to do something greater? Like what led you to really wanting to take on this particular role?
So when I stopped and sold Carolina Chocolate Company, or sold my shares of Carolina Chocolate Company, and I was I was 317 pounds, right? And I knew I needed to change my life for the better, for my son, for my wife, for myself. So when I went through that journey of learning how to mentally be stronger and mentally not worry about weight loss and the number on the scale, and anytime I would fluctuate with my weight, I understood that I had power over what I put in my space, what I put on my plate, what I put around me, the energy I put around me. And going through my health journey and learning everything I learned mentally and the strength that I've had thus far within my weight loss journey, I wanted to be a catalyst and a cheerleader for those that are going through that now.
Mm.
And when Planet Fitness was offered to me, I was so excited to be able to be that, not even gatekeeper, man, because I'm not even important enough for that, but just be a cheerleader to help those that are struggling with driving past a fast food restaurant and they know they don't need it, but they go in anyway because they think that instant gratification moment in eating that food is going to allow them to feel better or make them feel happier. But it never breeds the lasting satisfaction that we want for our health. It's only a quick fix. It only makes us feel better as we eating it. And then as soon as we finish, we go in this wormhole of doubt, frustration, stress. There's all these things that food and weight management can bring when we look at it from a negative standpoint. And going through Planet Fitness, man, it's been a wonderful life to be able to see those that are trying, that are going out there each and every day, that are coming into the gym, knowing sometimes they don't want to be there, but they going because they believing in themselves. Every single day I get to witness people fighting for themselves and fighting for their longevity, for their health, for their vanity, some of them, but just fighting for them and investing in them. And that's to be able to walk into a space every single day where I get to see that level of motivation and positivity. Man, I feel like I got the best job in the world, man. Let's be honest.
Man, that's what's up. That's what's
Yeah.
up. And that makes sense. It feels like as you're describing Planet Fitness, I feel like I'm seeing it in a whole new light. I'm like seeing it before, only seeing it from like me walking in there, like, all right, what machine am I gonna use? Okay, I
Yeah.
can do this.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's heavy. It's like I've only seen it in that perspective, but you're kind of talking about this place, this place where you could go and just transform in this
Yeah.
however you come and however you leave, it's all okay. And I could tell it aligned so much because something I want to thank you for sending over this new book that you put out
Oh man, I'm
earlier
so
this
glad you
year.
got it, man.
Yeah, man, it's amazing. I didn't even I had missed the launch, but when I started taking a look at it, there's a couple things I love here. Just the messaging that you have all around it. This idea of tying self love and kind of
Yeah.
combating these toxic weight obsession, which I've never heard in that realm, especially for someone who works in fitness. It's usually like a get rid of the weight, get rid of the weight. But you're talking about this toxic idea of weight loss. So I'm really
Yeah.
curious. Like, what does that mean?
Oh man, it means that you can have all the power in the world to lose the weight. But if you don't know how to keep it off, your mindset and way around weight loss could breed a toxic mentality of just a vanity point, of just seeing a certain figure in the mirror and not understanding your true power in your health and learning how to mentally beat those roadblocks when it comes to keeping the weight off. Because we all can lose it, bro. I mean, losing weight, if we're healthy and we have our health to lose the weight is one thing. But what are you going to do when you keep it off? Or how are you going to keep it off? That's the biggest part. That's the part that a lot of people, including myself, missed for so long. And that's where you will go through fluctuating weight. You will lose 20 pounds these 4 months, but then you gain it back. And then you're mad at yourself and you blaming yourself. You're blaming your current situation. You're blaming your job. You're creating a toxic life balance in your home. You're mad at your spouse because y'all not eating the same, man. I've had so many clients come to me with this level of just despair when it comes to, I know how to lose the weight. I've lost the weight, but why did I gain it back? What am I doing wrong to gain it back? And when we dive deeper into their lifestyle, we understand that going to the gym or working out and the fitness component is only a small piece of the ultimate picture when it comes to living healthy and holistic. And we have to unpack things of past trauma, have to go through what is you or your spouse doing, or you, if you by yourself, how are you living? So that toxicity can spark anywhere, man. Really, it just depends on the person, because everybody's different and everybody has their own triggers. So that's what we do within Be Great Guys. We meet you where you are, and we try to let you know that you still have the power to do it. You just have to do it a little differently.
Man, I'm excited to dive into this book. I love that because that's a whole just different lifestyle. So I wanna take a break. When we get back, I want to dive into what it looks like to set healthy fitness goals with all that in mind. Because you had said something in here where it's like kind of practicing eating habits or living this life and still eating the things that you want. Very curious about that.
Let's do it. I'm ready.
Let me introduce you to what might become your new best friend. All right, it's an app called Notion. I started using it because I felt like I was juggling way too much, right? From personal projects, work, podcasting, budgeting. It was just like way too much. But Notion has become a game changer for me. All right, it's an all-in-one workplace that allows me to plan, write, organize, and collaborate with ease. Essentially, I like to say it takes the chaos in my mind and puts it in one place where I can streamline my whole entire workflow. So if you want to check it out, check the comments, the description. There's a link where you could go ahead and set up your free trial and check it out today. All right, now back to the show. All right, we are back, y'all. I want to talk a little bit about your book and something that's really cool about this, right? This just like this whole conversation. I just you keep on showing examples of just how great of a coach, a leader, a guide you are. Now, this book, right, all about building confidence beyond the numbers, which I love. At the beginning, he has you like, yo, we're going to commit to something. We're going to commit. You're going to do this. Put your name down, and you're going to either sign or say something that you love about yourself. And I just love that you kind of start right there. Like, you're going to commit, but also say one thing that you love about yourself, right? Because I think that right there just is the beginning of battling the toxic mentality that comes with weight loss or just staying in shape that can really kind of hold you back in a way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's the beginning of the year. Everyone's got the whether it's a New Year's resolution or just setting a goal. Like, people just have certain ideas of things they want to accomplish, and I'm sure you see a huge soar of people coming to the gym in January. So I'm curious, like what does it mean to set a healthy fitness goal?
Oh man, that's a great question. Being realistic with yourself, being realistic with your time, and setting an attainable goal that you can achieve within your time frame, right?
Mm.
We hear the New Year mentality, New Year, New Me. We hear that a lot, especially during this time. But what small, realistic goal can you set for yourself within the next 30 days? And having that goal, then we break it down to its simplest form. What can we do next week? And then what can we do the week after? And then when you break your goals down and work backwards, people start to not be so intimidated when you want to lose 30 pounds. Or when you hear, I want to lose 50 pounds, or I want to eat better, or I want to take carbs out of my diet and eat a ketogenic lifestyle. I learned that through trial and error, because I was that guy, man. Like, I was the guy I was just saying, I'm going to lose 50 pounds and I'm cutting out everything. Like, I'm not going to drink soda. I'm not going to drink anything. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to deprive myself, starve myself, and hopefully that will get to my goal. But that's just going in blinded. And that's just saying I want to do something. I'm just going to hope for the best. But when you take your time, and this is such a good question, man, because it goes back on me just taking my time and knowing that I'm in control of my time. I just sat down and just wrote it out. And when I wrote out the plan, I said, okay, well, if I want to lose this amount of weight, I need to be smart about it. I need to make a realistic goal first. And then when that realistic goal happens, I need to now work backwards to see what I'm going to do next week and then what I'm going to do the week after. So when you want to create a fitness goal in your life, man, just work smart, work small, and just make it realistic for your own time. Because if you make it realistic for your own time, because everybody's time is different, then you can incorporate it into your lifestyle easier than just trying to take a cookie cutter approach to a goal.
Man, I like that. Yeah, I might need to like make trips up to Charlotte and get
Man, we can talk on
experience the
the phone,
coaching.
You don't need to be over here. We can talk on the phone.
I'm gonna get a Planet Fitness membership. Pull up at your gym, man. Yo, man, I know why they hired you, man. This is good. This is just a great mentality to have from the leader perspective and kind of influence or just sharing that with your team to work with you, and they can help their clients as well. So it's just like a great, it's just great. So I'm curious. So you were doing this as a full-time entrepreneur, fitness, and helping people with their weight loss or helping people reach their goals where they want to be in life. It transfers directly with working in the job you have now, but you're still coaching people as well.
Yes.
And something you mentioned several times is this idea of time, right? So how are you able to balance being a leader at Planet Fitness and also being a leader outside of work with Be Great Guys, your business, and just balancing it all, because it sounds exhausting. How do you do it?
Oh man. First I need to give all of the credit to my beautiful wife. She has really allowed me to live this unorthodox lifestyle, and while she is doing great work taking care of the household, like taking care of the home, taking care of the kids, making sure I'm straight, taking care of my calendar, and just allowing me to go after this goal, right? And then she also taught me how to just breathe, man. Just breathe. Just know that whatever's in front of you this week, it's either you're going to do it or you're not going to do it. And if you don't do it, what's the excuse for you not doing it? But if you are going to do it, let's make a plan and stick to that plan. The same with a fitness goal. It's either you want to have a goal in front of you, you're going to stick to the plan and work through the plan while it's working on you, or you're going to allow life to make the excuses for us. And with time and being busy, I mean, it is a lot, but it's not too much, man, when you create the plan around your schedule. Just like with you, man, you're doing so many things within life, but you still have the time to get up here and have fun with your boys or have fun with your guests and be the beautiful, great host that you are, bro. You know what I mean? And just be able to cultivate a community and still do all of the things that you're doing that people don't even know about. It's either do you want to do all of these things and build this life that you want to live, or you gonna make excuses not to. And that's what I chose. Yeah, man, that's what I chose to do. I chose to not let what we're so used to doing when we get off of work, especially what I used to do. I used to get home, play with the kids, be with Ari, watch TV, and go to bed. But those 4 hours, 5 hours while I'm home, I could be building the business. I could be still trying to build my business and still have time for my family. And when Ari really set me down and we built this plan out, it allowed me to see that I don't have to run this race. I can really just put one foot in front of the other, take my time, get my time back, and enjoy the journey. And ultimately, I would get there faster because I'm going forward and I'm not just running ragged and burning myself out. I'm just taking my time.
Right. Man, I love that. I love that, man. All right. So, one, I want to thank you for your time right now, right? Thank you for your time just sharing with me,
Bro.
then. Yeah, no, I do this to share with others, but also I'm learning as well. I'm on this journey of growth too. And you're just someone from my community just kind of poured into me. So I'm curious. So something that I'm kind of like another mission of mine is just tackling this idea of self-made, right? Because I think even in all cases, it's some community, whether direct or indirect, has kind of helped you in this journey. So you've already shouted your wife and how she's helped you and supported you, but I'm curious, how has your community kind of showed up for you in the past?
Oh man, it's showing up right now by talking to you, boss. Just to be honest, you know what I mean? It's a community of we all in this together. When you talk about weight loss, man, I mean, there's so many things that we can talk about when it comes to people just want to be by themselves because they're ashamed of how their body looks. They're ashamed of how they got to a certain point. But my mission in life is to tell us all and show us that we can do this together. Like, you don't have to be ashamed of what you look like in the mirror, because if you take that moment, take a pause, look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself that we may not be where we want to right now, but I'm going to work with you and not against you. I'm not going to work against my reflection, because that's where that battleground hit at. And I'm going to work with you to be the best version of myself. And when they see that mentality in me, man, we push each other to greatness. We continue to give each other grace. And the core group of people that I have in my circle that I'm blessed to have, man, we are very transparent with each other, honest with each other, and we push each other to be better. Even when those conversations have to be hard, you just have to have those people in your circle that need to tell you what you need to hear, not just what you want to hear. So I'm fortunate to have that, man. I think that we continue to sharpen each other, even when it's not as easy.
Man, shout out to the community.
Shout out to the community.
Right. I'm glad to be a part of yours, man.
Everybody in Be Great Guys, man. Everybody that has ever been in the Be Great Guys community, past, present, and the future ones that I'll be blessed to be introduced to along the way, man. Shout out to all you guys, because y'all make this possible. So thanking I love each and every one of y'all for everything that y'all done.
Man, love that. Shout out to them, man. Just a couple more questions. I'm gonna let you get out of here because I respect your time. What would you say has been a cheat code for your career growth?
Oh man, understanding that I'm not perfect and continuing to be a student of the game. That has ultimately held the most success in my life, is to continue to know that I don't know nothing. And to have a thirst for learning. That has ultimately allowed me to be at different tables in different arenas, to have that thirst for knowledge, man, and to really want to continue to be a student of the game has allowed me to be in this position I'm in now.
I love that. Kind of that accepting that acknowledgement. I guess it kind of just
man, and humbling yourself. Absolutely.
Man. Okay. So another question, kind of you being as corporate GM, Planet Fitness, I saw earlier this year. And actually, you know what? I want to actually call her whole name out. But we're kind of in this world of there's this attack on DEI and diversity, equity, and inclusion, and that's definitely affects a lot of just Black professionals, but it really honestly affects everybody. But I saw this year that they hired a woman, Colleen Keating, I believe is how you pronounce her name, to be the CEO of Planet Fitness of this year. So it kind of like, when I see things like that, while she's not a Black person, it does give hope to, like, even with this attack, there's still people who are working to make things an inclusive environment. But I'm kind of curious, like, what's your experience been like as a corporate GM, a Black corporate GM in this environment?
Oh man, it's been, I wouldn't even say it's been phenomenal, man, but it's just been regular. Like, we don't have this in my region. We don't really have anything of it's so diverse. Like, I mean, we have half our GMs are women, half of them are women of color. And the other half are half men of color. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we so diverse within our region, within our upward leadership, within Miss Colleen. We have Planet Fitness, from what I've seen at the small, minute level, just being there within a couple of years, as they are making some great strides, man, when it comes to just being diverse in this organization, man. That was not one of the things that really stuck out to me, but it didn't alarm me. And I think that's even better than having it stick out, because it was in a position to not. I just didn't think of it like that, man. It's such a beautiful thing to not be in an organization to where you have to worry about that. And Planet Fitness is one of those organizations that I never for one day thought about. I thought when Miss Colleen came on, I thought it was a great hire from her background. I mean, she has a wealth of knowledge to bring to Planet, and I'm excited to work under her leadership. I'm excited to see where she takes us in the future, because I think from the little bit that I've known about her and the couple of meetings that we've had, I think that we're in a good space, man, and I'm excited for that level of diversity to continue to grow within the organization.
Man, that's amazing. That's really great. I love that, because I feel like it gives hope.
You don't see that at a lot of companies. I mean, you don't see that type of diversity in a lot of companies, man. But it's cool. It's cool to see it here.
Man, that's phenomenal. Thank you for sharing. Thanks for breaking that down. That's really cool.
Yeah,
shout out to Planet Fitness, man.
Yeah, man.
Planet Fitness. Yeah. All right, so I feel like I definitely could talk to you all day, but I'll let you go. I know Mind Over Scale. This book is out. I've seen it on Amazon. You can probably get it all the places you get books. But where else can people follow you, whether it's just to continue to get that motivation, potentially check out your coaching business to get that one-on-one experience. But yeah, keep just plug away. Where can we all follow and support you?
Man, begreatguys.com. You can also follow us on our app, our Tap In Wellness app, that we do all of our one-on-one and corporate training. And Harold Logan at IG. I'm not on TikTok. Everybody's telling me to get on TikTok. I don't know if I should get on TikTok. I heard of this. I'm just not a TikTok guy. I think I need to get on it, but everybody's calling me old. But on IG, you can look me up at Harold Logan or Be Great Guys on Instagram.
All right, cool. Yeah, well, I was about to say now you don't need to, but when you said, they call me old, like, you know what? TikTok has made me feel like I'm old. I was in there exploring stuff. I'm like, yo, what? No, so yeah, get in there, lock in, lock in, forever young. All right, appreciate you. Thank you. And yeah, everyone listening, thank you for joining. This is officially a wrap. If you enjoyed it, please check out Logan, Harold Logan, because he is he does this for days, man. He's just like, all of I know him, every single time I speak to him, it just feels very motivational. I have more info on him in the link in the description. But yeah, keep checking out because we have new episodes dropping. I'm excited to share more stories from people working while Black. Whether it's surviving to thriving or different things they're learning along their way, or just really the realities of just being a Black person in these working roles, exploring entrepreneurship, all the above.
Yes,
thank you, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.